side, girl.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cigars and Whiskey for our next review. Today's review is the Gurkha Beast, a 6x60 cigar. Now, the Beast is a Costa Rican Maduro wrapper, a Nicaraguan binder, a Dominican, Honduran, and Colombian filler. Its flavor is a medium to full, and the cost about $7.50. And this was purchased through Cigar International with a Gurkha cigar sampler, which were all 6x60s, and I'll have those coming up in the next few weeks. But this is a great stick. We'll be right back with the preload. Now, the construction of this cigar, the wrapper, is a very dark color coffee with minimal amounts of oiliness and a matte finish. The seams are very tight and minimal veins, and I am getting the aroma off the wrapper as spice and cocoa, coffee, a little bit of cedar, and on the pre-draw mainly we're getting spice and cocoa. We're right back for the first third. Welcome back, everybody, for the first third of our review today, the Gurkha Beast. In the first third we're getting a sweet Maduro flavor, which I like to categorize as like a sweet tobacco with like a fruitiness, like a dried fruit almost. Now we're getting a little coffee, a little bit of spice, and we are getting a little bit of cedar on the retrohale. The cigar has a lot of smoke coming off of it. As you can see, the draw has almost just as much smoke. Stay tuned for the second third. With the larger gauge cigars, the 60s and higher, I never really have went over a 70 gauge, but I'm finding that the easiest way to cut those is using a V-cut. Doesn't really get rid of the cap, but does hold it in place. There is a little bit of flaking that occurs with some of the cigars, but the most part, that would be the one I would recommend for larger gauges, just so you don't destroy the construction of the cigar. Sometimes when you clip too much, or your scissors or your guillotine cutter aren't made for such a large gauge, you have a tendency to destroy the outside and then it starts to come unraveled. But again, that's just a tip for those who don't smoke a lot of large ring cigars. I'll be right back after this. And into our second third of our review today of the Gurkha Beast 6x60. We're starting to continue to get that sweet Maduro, and we're getting the cocoa, a little bit of the spice, but now I'm starting to get an occasional earth element, earthy flavor, not more like a musky earth, but more of just a sweet earth, and we're getting almost like a little bit of a cinnamon flavor on the back of the palate, and the cocoa and the sweetness, like I said before, is about the same as it continues from the first third, and you can see the construction of the cigar is holding up fairly well. The burn's not razor sharp, but as far as you can see everything else, the construction is holding up pretty well. And it's my experience with the Gurkha line, you don't have a lot of construction issues. It's just a lot of times you'll have issues with the caps and the wrapping if you're not keeping your humidor at the right temps. But stay tuned for our final third. Welcome back, everybody, for the final third of our review today, the Gurkha Beast 6x60. In this final third, we're starting to get a noticeable more flavor of that leather that was kind of in the retrohale on the second and first thirds. All the other flavors will stay the same. You can see the construction is holding up really well, and the ash still not burning razor sharp, but it's there. But the ash itself very loose, so have to knock it off from time to time to keep that ash from falling all over the place. But again, if you're a fan of the Gurkha cigar, I suggest you try the Beast. And if you're not a big fan of the larger 60 gauge, there are other sizes, so you can try those. But again, I review the larger ones because I prefer those longer gauges. And at this point, we're about an hour and a half in. So with the final third, I think we'll smoke this all the way down to the nub. And thanks for tuning in to Cigars and Whiskey. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Always leave your comments. Have a great day, have a great smoke, and we'll see you next time.